Imagine that you're sitting in a pitch black room that's about the size of a small classroom. You're sitting in a room with 40 other people that are the same age as you from around the world. The instructions you've been given are to think about a struggle you've had. Walk to the center of the circle and share your story. What would you say? Think about it. What would you say? 8 months ago, I was sitting in a pitch black room with 40 other students my age from all around the world, and we were told to think about a struggle that we've had and share it. We were given a few minutes to think about it, and I thought, but my mind was blank. The first student got up, went to the center of the circle, and sat down. He talked about how both his dad and his brother had passed away within the span of 2 months in a war. Another student got up, went to the center of the circle, and sat down. She talked about how her dad is extremely ill, and because of that, she had to drop out of school so she could work to be able to provide for her mother and her 2 younger sisters. A third student got up, went to the center of the circle, and sat down. He talked about his parents' divorce and their custody battle over him that lasted for 5 years. One by one, every student that was there got up, went to the center of the circle, and shared their story. As I heard these stories, tears were rolling down my eyes. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. As I was listening to these real-life experiences, I remembered that all of these people are the same age as me. They're all 15, 16, 17 years old. And the experiences that they've been through, most adults wouldn't be able to handle them. This was the single moment in my life that I realized how insanely privileged that I am. Some of us have never experienced what it's like to have to walk multiple kilometers just to get water, or wonder whether or not we'd be able to eat that day. Around the world, over 3 billion people, which is nearly half of our world's population, lives on less than $2.50 a day. $2.50 a day. Billions of people don't have access to basic needs like food, water, shelter, healthcare, and so many more things that we take for granted. I had the opportunity to experience this firsthand when I went to India a few months ago. I went on a service trip with a couple of other students from all around the world, and the moment that I stepped out into the airport in Hyderabad, I immediately knew that this would be something I had never experienced before. We spent the first week in India at a girls' orphanage that was located in the city. At the orphanage, I met a girl named Anaya, a girl just like me, who was 16 years old. Along with Anaya, I met the 90 other girls who stayed at the orphanage from the ages of 8 to 18, and they had 3 small rooms. This is what one of the rooms looked like. The girls did everything in there. They ate in there, they slept in there, they cooked in there, and during the day, they were taught lessons in there. And the sad part is that they never get to leave. When they turn 18, they either get married right away or they become supervisors at the orphanage. And so their living conditions never actually change. This really hit me hard, just because of the fact that I was born here in Canada and Anaya was born there. I get to live a privileged life, but she She never gets to leave the four walls of the room that she is in. She doesn't have any options or choices. But I do. I'm truly grateful and privileged to be living here in Canada, and I've been given so many opportunities to learn about a lot of different things. And one opportunity that I'm particularly grateful for is the fact that I've been able to learn about new exponential technologies, specifically artificial intelligence. I believe that we can really use this technology to create a huge impact. Artificial intelligence is the development of computer systems and programs to do natural human processes. When I went to India, it really changed my perspective on how we can use this technology to create an even bigger impact. I spent the second week in India at a very small village called Gir, and one of the days I went to a farm that was about the size of 12 football fields. This is what one football field looks like. Now imagine 12 of them. I spent a day with the farmers who worked there and went through what a typical day was like for them. At the start of the day, you walk between 4 to 6 kilometers just to get to the farm. As soon as you get there, the first thing you do is walk across the entire area to make sure that nothing is damaged or destroyed. And then, depending on the time of the season, you would either plant crops, water plants, or harvest them. Every day, you spend over 12 hours in 40-degree weather for 3 to 4 months at a time. There are 118 million farmers in India. Let me say that again. 118 million. This is 3 times the population of Canada. As soon as I came back from this trip, I really started to think about how we can use new technologies to improve people that are living in these conditions. Access to food, healthcare, and education are 3 areas that I believe will have a huge impact if we're able to address them. 815 million people around the world are malnourished, meaning that they do not have enough food. In rural areas, farmers plant and harvest crops and sell them to markets where people buy them. However, farmers aren't educated on the best times when to plant and harvest their crops, and because of this, their yield is a lot less than it should be. We can use artificial intelligence to detect weather and seasonal patterns and actually predict when the best time is for farmers to plant and harvest their crops. Microsoft partnered with a company in India called Ikrasat, and using this technology, they were actually able to increase farmers' yields by 30%. To put this into context, let's say the entire farm is growing wheat. For the farm that I visited, which is about 12 football fields in size, increasing the yield by 30% would mean that you would be able to feed an extra 8,000 people for one day. Looking at healthcare, according to the World Health Organization, over 3.5 billion people don't have access to basic healthcare services. A way to address this problem is as simple as providing a stethoscope and a tablet that has software on it that is able to diagnose disease for people in rural areas for a low cost. We can use artificial intelligence to diagnose diseases ranging from the common cold to cancer. To diagnose cancer, for example, computer vision is a subfield of artificial intelligence that allows machines to view images like we do. As part of my research, I built a neural network that is able to classify skin cancer, which is basically an algorithm that is modeled loosely after the human brain. Using this, you can actually take a picture of a certain part of your skin and be able to tell with a 98% accuracy if you have cancer or not, compared to a doctor who has an 86% accuracy. And based on this diagnosis, the software will be able to tell you ways to treat the disease and how to deal with it. I believe that education is the most important area that we need to be focusing on. This is the key to breaking out of the cycle of poverty, because when you're educated, you have the ability to contribute and make an impact, as well as improve your quality of life. Around the world, 1 billion people are illiterate, meaning that they cannot read and write. How would you feel if you weren't able to read or write? We can provide a device such as a tablet or a phone for low cost to people in areas of developing countries that has customized lessons on them that is able to teach students all the information that they need to know. You would also be able to track the students' progress and make sure that they're actually learning the information. This solution would have a huge impact for students all around the world, including girls like Anaya. Using these different technologies, we can solve some of these important problems that affect billions of people all around the world and elevate their quality of life. And although we do have people working on solving these issues, we still have places that look like this, and places that look like this, and this. These are the circumstances and situations that we need to change. How can each one of us make a difference? What are you going to do to make a difference? Thank you.